Welcome back to the third episode of the alternative history of the world. And yeah, you can see here, this is a different looking map now, and the ocean's different, and the blank countries have a slightly darker color, just to make it more little quote-unquote dramatic, which it really isn't. It's just a new color thing. And I also decided to expand the map just in case if I ever zoom out too far, so you guys don't have to see the stupid gray background as well. I also did this on the regular map as well, so hopefully the mapping videos will be a lot better. If you want to recap for the last episode, first of all, if you haven't watched the first episode, what are you doing? Don't watch this episode, because you're going to be confused as to what the heck is going on. So basically, Colombia and Venezuela went into total chaos. Hungary had a civil war, and a bunch of countries decided to help out the rebels. Baltic states united because, the Soviet Union is threatening them. And then the Japanese and Chinese are fighting still, so that war has not ended. And then we have British Raj stuff going on, basically. And that is it right there. So let's get in with the wars. So at the end of last episode, we did see the British Raj and the Japanese fighting the Chinese. The British Raj did not fight the Chinese. I worded that horribly wrong. But once again, I don't script my videos. I just do it randomly. We'll focus on these two later in the video. Let's go talk about some other things. Saudi Arabia right here is going to unite with this desert looking country right here. I have no clue what this is. Make it disappear just like that, and it looks beautiful just like that. So some interesting things are going to happen down here in Africa. Well, you see French Cameroon, right? It's like its own little thing, its own little French colony. So French Cameroon merges with the French Equatorial Africa thing, this colony right here, so that doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, there's that. And then another change right here is that the British are going to make Zambia and Zimbabwe unite. Well, actually they're called Rhodesia. I think this is called Northern Rhodesia and this is called Southern Rhodesia for Zimbabwe, but don't quote me on that because I don't remember. And there we go, nice and neat. So remember that I told you about the NoNo Germans in the last episode? Well, they are hiding in the Alpine Mountains in Austria and are trying to run to Italy because it's fascist Italy. Well, some of them did get escorted back to Austria just because they think there's just German rebels going on in, I forgot what this German area is called. Let me just highlight it real quick. Now this area right here is like Tyrol. I don't remember. Austria, right? They are colored in blue once again. So the NoNo Germans, well, they're gonna rebel in the Alpine Mountains, and they now control the Alpine Mountains, and that is bad news for the Austrians. And also what sucks for the Austrians too is that, well, we have Hungarian rebels right here in something land. It starts with the B. I don't remember the name. Burgenland? I don't remember. And then the NoNo Germans start to march through over here. And then in the Austrian man's hometown, well, it's controlled by the NoNo guys. And basically Austria is in some civil war, but it really isn't. It's just like a takeover. I don't know what we call this. Unfortunately for the Austrian government, Vienna falls, and then because of that, well, Austria pretty much falls pretty quickly. And then the NoNo Austrians now take over the Hungarian rebels, and now we have NoNo Austria, and that shocks the whole world that just happened. And now Germany is scared of Austria. Now Hungary is scared of Austria. Fascist Italy and NoNo Austria are now allies. So yeah, no, Germany and Austria aren't bros. So yeah, the skinny mustache man does rule Austria. So yeah, that guy, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna zoom out of Europe for now and go to the British Raj. The Pakistanis from the last episode, well, just rebelling against the British. And then right here are the Indians, the main group. And then, of course, the Bengalis over here, so congratulations to you. And then, of course, we do have some Indians over here. And, the British are really confused, but, they do, of course, fight back these people. And, it's like the Bengali group basically falls, but, not completely. Thing is, though, the Indians do take over these Bengali rebels. And, now that the Indians and Bengalis are now in a little bit of a civil war with each other. Just because, these Indian guys decided to take over this Bengali group that are trying to gain independence too. And would you look at that? It's French Indochina time. Okay, I apologize for the weird colors here, but I don't really have a choice. But we do have the Vietnamese right here rebelling, so that's great. And we do have some Cambodians. The Pakistanis over here, well, they get eliminated over here in the south, and then, well, most of these Indians right here in the north start to, well, disappear off the map slowly but surely. And then all these Pakistanis get eliminated just like that. And same goes with right here, except for some Indians escape to Bhutan, which, the British are going to go to war against. So, well, think about it geographically. They're in a really strange position, because, you know, they're in the Himalayas, and we know what the Himalayas is. It does go pretty much unsuccessful at the most part, because, you know, well, these guys are happy to kick out the British. Over here in French Indochina, though, well, it's not going so well. The French are literally losing their ground over here. Then the Vietnamese start to rebel over here in, well, today Laos. And of course, well, French Indochina is basically in control of these rebel groups, but don't get fooled, because the French did just land in Cambodia and in southern Vietnam, and that is bad news. The Vietnamese are going to do some sabotaging to the Cambodians. Cambodians are unlucky here, and now it is just the French versus the Vietnamese. And then, of course, these guys really get pushed back up to the north, and it freezes just like that. Well, what's not going to freeze over here in Bhutan, though, is that it is now the year 1935. I forgot to state that at the beginning of this video, so just forgive me, but, you know, the British are rolling in Bhutan pretty quick. Bhutan, it's just not doing so well until, of course, the aid comes in and then kicks out the British. Then we have these British troops over here all getting kicked out. Well, Bhutan does fiercely resist the British back to its original borders. And then, well, Bhutan even starts to push into over here, this little stupid, I hate this so much, what is this, what do you call this area right here? And, well, does take control of this area until the British take it back, but, you know, it's very, very slow. And then, well, Nepal is going to join the side of Bhutan, and then we'll push into India to basically connect with Bhutan. Going back here in Indochina, though, yeah, looks like that's not going to work out for you. So now that is over. And the British do eventually give up. It is a frozen stalemate right here, but, you know, the British do eventually give up and just are going to suck it up and say, okay, but Bhutan, you won. And so there we go right there. It's looking a little weird, but, you know, we'll get used to it. Well, let's check on Japan and China. Well, we did miss out on a lot of events, and, you know, it is just going back and forth like crazy. The Chinese are literally not doing so hot because, you know, it's not World War II yet, or it maybe won't happen, but you guys will have to find out. I will have to find out myself. Like I said before in this video, I don't make the scripts. Whatever comes to my mind, I'll just do it maybe. Well, the Chinese, of course, do massive resistance against the Chinese. Someone is supplying the Chinese. Looks like Hong Kong is colored in. And same goes with the British Raj. Wait a second. It looks like the British are secretly helping out the Chinese. It's to strengthen the relationship with China. Because of this, well, Japan is confused until they do see, well, the soldiers' hats and weapons being a little different. And the Japanese are not happy with the British whatsoever. And, you know, the Chinese are doing massive, force against back to the Chinese. I can't speak. Yeah, they still don't have Manchuria, but, you know, it does look like they're winning, but they're still kind of losing. I mean, they lost Manchuria, though. Japan declares war on the UK. That did not take long, so the British aren't really doing so well in this video. Or will they for once in this video? But we'll find out. Well, the Japanese do massive resistance and take back Shanghai and push into this little horn over here. And then we'll take Beijing back. And, well, they do eventually, well, yeah, that's just gonna happen. Shanghai gets liberated, Beijing gets liberated, and interesting enough, I forgot the name of this island. Well, that gets taken over. Same goes with Taiwan. And a slow push into Manchuria has been made. And so now it looks like the Japanese are starting to lose by a lot. And by that, I mean a lot. The British do eventually get the French to join this war. And now we have a stalemate right here, just like that, in which Japan, well, they're going to just agree to give up Manchuria. And then the British, French, and Chinese in Japanese, agreed to no more war, and Japan will give up the puppet state of Manchuria. So China is now back to normal, sorta. They're still kind of like crumbling because there's other groups fighting in China. You see these two islands right here off the coast of Japan? Well, now they're British and French. Well, an interesting little secret conference is held in Belgium and Luxembourg. Well, they both agreed to unite for some reason, so now we have, well, just Belgium and Luxembourg like that. The NoNo Austrians start to make requests against Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, which Czechoslovakia is like, no. Because of that, Austria is a little bit upset at that and is going to go to war against Czechoslovakia. It's almost the new year, so you know, we gotta make it quick. And the Austrians, of course, do push into Sudetenland and try to push into, well, Bratislava. But then, too bad for you, well, you're not Germany, Austria, you are just Austria, which the Czechians do push back your troops. And the Austrians do slightly, well, make it around Czechoslovakia. You know, blah, blah, blah. This keeps happening until, well, both sides are at a very big stalemate, which no side has been moving for a month. And so, because of that, both of them are going to agree to a peace treaty. And so there we go. Austria did take some lands out of Czechia. And that is going to conclude the video right there. So if you want to see more videos like this, well, I do recommend checking it out on this video before the end